Good morning. Here's something fun today. Think about what it is that you've always wished you could do. The thing that has been calling you and pulling you forward your whole life, and that maybe you haven't done yet. Maybe you haven't taken the leap. And how do you feel when you imagine actually stepping up and doing that? Well, I'm facing that today, and it's not how I expected it to be. I have always wanted to write books and publish books and that sort of thing. And, be I don't know. I'll just stop there. And up until now, I decided at some point about 12 years ago or so that I didn't actually want to go the publishing route, because it just kind of seemed like a big scam these days. And yet I notice that there's a certain level of not being taken seriously as a teacher, I think, that happens when you're not published by an outside source. And I've just been kind of feeling like I'm bouncing up against that barrier quite a lot in the last several years. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna go for it. And the interesting thing is that I came up against this kind of terror when I decided to just go for it. And I've done this before. And what I'm thinking of doing is renting some time at a cabin and going away so that I can just focus and clear and start catching what wants to come through and then write it. And I've done that numerous times in the past. I have a collection of books that I've written or gotten a good start on and never finished for one reason or another. And so I've always been very excited about that process, but this time is different. This time is like it just feels super scary. And I think it's because it feels there's a lot riding on it this time that there wasn't before. Before, I just had these books and I had these things that I wanted to say. I had these ideas I wanted to share with people and these tools that I found that I was very excited to share. And now, I think my focus has shifted, and it feels like something's riding on it. It's not just about having these great ideas that I want to share anymore. It's also, the sort of like my future career path depends on it, or something along those lines. And so there's just this real fear. And I've noticed this before. There's this thing that happens when we are about to reach for the thing that we really want. It's easy enough to stretch out for the things that are kind of what we want or in the direction of what we want. But when we're up against that, point, when we're at that point where we're really going to go for it, for the thing that's the full-on deal, the thing we want most of all, a lot of fear can get triggered. Have you ever had that happen to you? And what do you do then, right? So I had to kind of process my way through the fear this morning, like with my thoughts. I mean, first of all, thinking, what is it I'm really afraid of? And what is it that's really scaring me? And there are a number of parts of that, not least of which is it feels like a lot of pressure. I've done, in the past, I haven't really worried about that, but since my kind of health collapse from the last massive project I undertook, I just haven't been able to push myself in the same way. And I feel a lot of fear about whether or not it's going to be too much pressure and whether or not I can actually do it. So I was kind of swamped by this fear, and I couldn't really find my way out of it. And nothing was really helping. My usual tools weren't really helping. And then so I did that thing that I do where I just kind of look into nature and open my eyes and see what's going on. That's a way of, for me, coming into reality. You know, nature is real. Everything else is a construct, kind of. So I was looking out the window and I saw the maple tree, and it's still bare. And it was all dark and tangled and a little bit intimidating, you know. It's every now and then it looks a little bit like if you saw Independence Day, there was that monster with all that tangled stuff coming off of it. At any rate, let's stay focused. Looking out the window, I see that, and then I'm just sort of resting and gazing, and my eyes eventually look past that tree, and they see these shadowy evergreens behind it. And I'm just sort of looking at that, and then finally I notice, there's this golden light shining on the trees behind those evergreens. Just this lovely sunrise warmth and beauty and, you know, light calling me deeper. And something clicked in me when I saw that. It's like I was called out of myself a little bit. I was called out of my mental chaos and my mental process. And the light just sort of called me deeper. Nature just kind of called me deeper and said, okay, so there's all this fear on the surface, but what's underneath? There's all this worry that you're not going to be able to do it, or it's not going to work, or it's not going to be good, or whatever. But what's beyond that? And it was pretty much as quick as that, as simple as that for me. It took me out of that sort of panic mode that I'd been in, that anxiety, real anxiety. And understand, it's not completely gone. I still have some concern about whether or not it's going to be very hard, or whether I'll be able to, you know, accomplish my goal. Whether or not it'll be any good, whether or not I'll be able to get it published. That kind of stuff is still there, but I can look past it now. And see something further on, you know, something calling me that's of the light, instead of just kind of staying stuck in the dark, scary place. So I'm kind of launching this whole process of facing my fear around doing the important thing, following my dream, I guess. And it's normal to have fear about that. So if you've ever been in that place where you want to step up in your life and step into who you always wanted to be, the life you always wanted to live, but you felt fear come up around that, there can be a lot of reasons for that, and it's really common. It's super common. It's more common than not, and that's, I think, why a lot of people don't do it. But I'm going to do it, and I thought maybe you could do it with me if you're ready, and if you want to. We could launch this together and kind of walk each other through it. As I go through this process, I hope that I will have things that will help you, insights or ideas or techniques or something that will inspire you and encourage you to face those fears and go through them and past them. And step into that life that's waiting for you. And just knowing that you're here with me is helping me do that as well. You know, when I might be more tempted to wallow in the fear or something, I know that I've got to step up my game for you guys and have something useful to say. So, what do you think? Do you want to do this with me? I don't know what the next videos will be, but I assume that some of them will be on this topic and on the process of getting through the fear and whatever might be stopping us from reaching those dreams. So, is there anything else I need to say about that today that wants to come through? There's this feeling that life is waiting for us. That life is waiting for you. That what you're called, what you've always been called towards, is what the earth is dying for you to share. Is what the divine wants to experience through you, through your life. And there's this excitement from the universe at the idea that we might step up and live that at last. She's calling us. She wants us. The universe is supporting us in doing this because she wants us to do this for her, for the goddess, for life, for divine consciousness, because the divine experiences life through us. That's why we're here. The divine wants to be able to know herself. You know, like if you were the only being in the entire universe, how would you ever know who and what you are? And if you were omnipotent and omniscient, how would you ever know what you're capable of? Or what life is like for others? You couldn't really experience that. So you create all of these little pieces of you to live out different parts of that and to reflect you back to yourself. And you get to know yourself. And that's what we are for the divine. So everything we do and don't do is a way of the divine learning about itself. And this is the way that she's most excited about. About us living the passion and the dream that we came in with. living the mission that she gave us or that we chose before we came. So, are you willing to do that with me? And if you're not, I don't want you to feel any pressure, because when you're ready, you'll be ready. And maybe the time is not right yet. It's right for me, I think. And I'm going to go forward and find out. But that doesn't mean it has to be right for you. Either way, I hope that you can come on this journey with me, and maybe it will set the stage and start things rolling for you. That's so that when the time is right, you'll be ready and know just how to get there, how to get on that path. Not so much a destination as, jumping on the train. All right, so our mission today. Let's see if we can't set our eye on the mission itself, the dream, the passion, the thing that's always called to us. And create space for that to happen in our lives. To create space to let the universe know it's time to help us move forward on that, to lift us up into that. We don't have to do it on our own. There's no such thing as on our own. That's a whole other topic. All right, that's our goal, I think. And if you have your own, that's fine by me. Just do whatever practice comes to you from or for the day. That's what it's all about. And I'd love to hear your comments below, as always. But I'm going to zip off right now because we're really over time. I hope you have a blessed day and full of just light and passion and joy and opportunity and potential. All of those things that can lead us to where we're going. All right, I will talk to you again tomorrow. Blessed be.